Hello everyone! So in my last video, I went over some terminology that is necessary for a discussion of being prepared for a world of hybrid learning, which hopefully you'll remember means a combination of face-to-face learning in a brick and mortar classroom with remote instruction. So when you have a hybrid learning model, you really do have three different modalities that you are thinking about. You are thinking about brick and mortar classroom face-to-face. You're thinking about synchronous online sessions in which everyone gets together on a Zoom or a Google Meet live, or asynchronous learning opportunities, which can technically happen in the brick and mortar classroom or remotely, in which you send students information and learning and activities to work on that they do at their own pace, at their own time, not synchronously, not all together, and then they submit their work to you when they're finished. So let's talk about what types of learning works best in each of those modalities. So I'm actually going to start with the last one, the asynchronous learning activities. So that is any time that you create a learning opportunity for students that they work on either in groups or independently, but not directly with you. So if you send them an instructional video, either one that you found online through something like Edpuzzle, or that you created yourself using a recording like Zoom or Screencastify or Loom or Screencast-O-Matic, if you send them some sort of instructional video to watch and then interact with, whether you send it to them using Google Classroom or Seesaw, or you post it on a school website or class website, any way that you send it out to them, they interact with it, and then they send something back to you, that is an asynchronous learning opportunity. Also, if you were to take an activity that normally would have been done in the classroom, maybe workbook pages or any sort of maps or drawings or writing, and you take it and you make it digital and you send it out, perhaps through Google Classroom, and the students work on it and send it back to you. That is also an asynchronous learning opportunity. So when you are thinking about what you usually did in your classroom, think about if you had a station rotation model. If you had students who went and did work on their own, either at a collaborative workstation with peers or at an independent workstation, those kind of activities should be an asynchronous learning opportunity. Now, I would also argue that you could easily take the mini lessons you did with your small groups and turn those into flipped videos that students watch independently, and then you follow up with them later during either an in-class brick and mortar time or in a live synchronous Zoom session. And so I will get into that more in another video. But think about what you can take from your classroom. Can you take your mini lessons and can you turn them into a video that kids watch at their own time so that they can pause, rewind, go back? Can you also take those activities that they would have worked on independently and turn it into an activity that they could do as an interactive hyperdocs or choice boards in Google Slides? I have a lot of information on the Blended Learning site and in my other YouTube videos about these kinds of activities. But those are the things that you can make asynchronous. Basically, the idea is to take as much of the new learning as possible and front load it into an asynchronous activity that the students do not when they're all live in the classroom. Save that live classroom time or even that live Zoom synchronous time for going over information, for answering questions. Do not try and use a live Zoom synchronous session as the best way to transmit new material. It is not. It is not the most ideal way. You are much better off giving students the information ahead of time so that when they all come together, they have something to bring to the table. They have questions, they have concerns, they have connections. It really is that flipped learning model, and it's really going to work best when we are in a hybrid learning environment. So keep that in mind. Think about the things that you did when you were in the classroom and ask yourself, is this something that I can turn into an asynchronous learning opportunity that students work on their own path, their own pace? And then if they do have questions, is there a way for them to either ask me those questions over a live Zoom or bring those questions back to the classroom when they come back to be live together? So watch out for more videos coming where I'll talk about the best practices for the synchronous live Zoom sessions. Hope this has been helpful.